I was working out in the gym, and all of a sudden my watch starts going absolutely bananas. And well, then Russell Wilson's a Denver Bronco, and it's 12:49 on a Tuesday Central Time. I'm Zach Berman. There's going to be a lot more of us in. And first and foremost, Purry and Rapport. This just came out, not to be overshadowed by the Russell Wilson news, but Cam Robinson has been franchise tagged by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I don't know where Splash is, but I need to figure out a way to set every single mock draft I've put out in the last 3 months just on fire. I just need to print them out, put them all in one big stack, and then maybe roast some marshmallows over them or something. Instant reaction. Man, I'm excited. You have that whole receiving core in Denver with, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler. You got Noah Fant and my boy Albert O. And now you got Javonte Williams. And they're all going to be catching or getting footballs from Russell Wilson. And if you're Patrick Graham, you left the Giants to now have to face Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and Patrick Mahomes 6 times a month. Or 6 times this season. So, well, according to Schefter, this has been in the works for weeks. This has been in the works for a while. So,
how's it going, Zach?
How am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing great.
You just said gigantic. Like I just walked to the bathroom, right? Like, okay, cool. And I'm just charging my phone because I've been working all morning. Then I walk back over and like boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, 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 ba boom. Like, what is going on?
Is this the biggest bomb we've had in terms of NFL trade news since DeAndre Hopkins?
I think it's bigger than DeAndre Hopkins.
How big is this? Odell?
Odell was pretty big, and he kind of transcends the whole quarterback.
I mean, how often do you see an elite quarterback get traded?
I can't recall.
Stafford was good. He wasn't elite until
I don't think we've had a top 5 quarterback get traded in
how long?
In a very long time. Like Jay Cutler was the last big.
Jay Cutler's not a top 5 quarterback.
I know that, but he was the last big quarterback traded. Like,
I mean, Matthew Stafford's not big.
What does this mean for the Broncos? Like, this is just a gargantuan trade. I would hate to see Lockett in Kansas City, but holy Christmas.
Let me take every mock draft we made this weekend, every mock draft I have made on my own. I don't have a lighter, but you're all... Actually, I might have a lighter. No.
Oh, boy. Gonna get demonetized.
I don't. This is unbelievable. And this all comes at the heels of the Aaron Rodgers news this morning, which maybe makes you think Rodgers was never the end game.
Yeah. This is unbelievable.
This is absolutely unbelievable.
I wonder who this U Stadium brand is. You should definitely download their app. Yeah, apparently they do have an app. Yes, you should download it. Huh.
So what happens with Drew Lock?
Oh boy. Well, I'm sure Denver fans are dancing in the street that they never have to see Drew Lock again. So that's exciting. DK and Lockett must be sick. Yeah, I agree. Chris coming in.
Seattle is going to rebuild. I think they have to rebuild.
I agree. No, Frankie. These deals aren't as crazy as you think. This is a massive trade. This is a cataclysmic trade. This shifts the balance of power in the NFL, at least to some degree. We have been talking about these stupid Denver Broncos as a quarterback away destination for the last 5 years, right? Since Peyton retired, even when Peyton was there, they were a quarterback away destination. They won the bloody Super Bowl. Since 2014, the last part of 2014, that Peyton started absolutely being a vegetable. We have talked about the Broncos as they're a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away.
Oh, did you see the Jerry Jeudy? This is Jerry Jeudy in the span of an hour.
Oh, boy. I wonder what Jamal Adams
is now sitting there thinking, maybe the Jets have a better future than the Seahawks right now.
Yeah,
Wilson,
they
Mahomes,
do.
and
They have
Herbert.
all that draft capital too.
Poor Jared Carr is now the worst quarterback of those four.
And they have a starting quarterback named Wilson. That's more than the Seahawks have.
This is unbelievable. So I assume the Seahawks are now picking 9th?
I hope so. I'm gonna do a mock draft afterwards. That's a division and a half. Like have
the Seahawks could draft.
Whoa. Okay, we have the Drew Lock answer. He's just going to Seattle.
What?
Yeah, he's just going.
Oh my God!
What a time to be alive, ladies
and gentlemen. Drew Lock is a Seahawk.
Oh boy! All right, let me get these details up because we have the official details. Allegedly, it does include Drew Lock. Friend of the show, Drew Lock, even though all of us think he sucks absolute balls. Although he is a Missouri legend, so maybe you don't think he sucks.
He stinks.
Okay. Multiple first-round picks, additional picks, and players. Look, I know
apparently it's 4 first-round picks.
Ooh. I know Frankie said that. Here we go. I know Frankie said that it doesn't feel like people think it's going to take 4, but it's not going to take 4.
According to the Data Plus PR, what do you call it? Head of MGM, John Ewing, he just tweeted, how many picks do the Broncos give up? First-round picks, and it's a picture of Brady. So,
oh my lord!
Please don't tell
me.
Do they
even have? Can you even trade 4 first-round picks? Because they don't. Because I believe the rule is you can trade up to 3 years in advance. So you can trade this
Drew
year.
Lock is a Seahawk. Oh my God. Drew Lock might be the starting quarterback for the Seahawks.
and Frankie's just trying to stoke the fire here. When are they going to trade John Harbaugh? Lick my balls, please.
This is something else, dog.
Lord, this is wild.
How many shrimp cocktails at St. Elmo's did this deal get taken care of over?
9 over under 9.5.
So I just want to know which NFL insider was able to get eyes on George Patton and John Schneider sitting down, and this is
wow.
So Spotify is down. Aaron Rodgers is back. Bears fans are down bad. Broncos fans were down bad for about an hour. Oh my God. Apparently the Eagles missed out on Russell Wilson. Let's go.
And so did the Commanders. Wow. Oh, okay. In fairness, Russ could pull the ultimate like LOL psych and just not let the trade go through. That should be funny. Frankie, good point. Pete Carroll should retire. Good idea. Like a halfway decent idea for once.
So Pete Carroll just dips, and now Frankie is having a ball in this chat right now.
We should have an RJ Barrett live. Could
From
we get
PFF Austin Gale? If you trade Russell Wilson just to start Drew Lock for 17 games, the city of Seattle should press charges.
Oh, that one's funny. That one's funny. I wonder what we could get for Harbaugh. Okay, if you're let me try to think of a team that has like this kind of situation. If you have like a hot shot offensive coordinator, would you think about trading your head coach? And so you keep.
I just want to know the full specs of the deal.
Okay, that's what Frankie is drunk on news. You're usually drunk.
The Broncos tweeted the volleyball.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh boy! Oh boy!
The memes. You got to retweet that.
My goodness!
That is an unreal picture right there. This is.
If you're a member of U Stadium, get this stream right now. I got an hour till class. I want to enjoy this.
Oh my lord! And I'm like just chilling. I'm just writing an article. Also, if you guys want to join the StreamYard, I will send the link in the chat right now.
So it is multiple first-round picks and Drew Locks per Mike Kliss of Denver 9 News. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Did we get the meme? Find the meme. Yes. There we go. We have the meme. We have the GIF. Do you say GIF or GIF?
GIF. It is a GIF.
Okay. Awesome.
Not JG or yeah.
I was going to ask if you like Jif, the peanut butter brand, but I know you're allergic
I'm
to
allergic to peanuts.
Darn it, Zach.
Yeah, do you know how jealous I was? You were drinking that peanut butter milkshake in Indianapolis. I wanted one of those.
Hey, you got red velvet. I wouldn't.
It tasted like straight sugar. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was good. I ended up with a bunch of like peanut butter bits at the end, and it was like kind of like, okay,
Stop! You're making me jealous.
This was more. Well, it was more enjoyable. Like 5
Drew
minutes.
Lock is going to take Russell Wilson's 3 in Seattle, and it's. I did not expect.
What? You're sure you're not not going to retire Drew Lock's number 3 in Denver? Boy, Oberto. It's so fun. Like the Broncos are like so chill, and then they have just this gif.
My draws in the.
Oh yeah, and then this mock draft article that they posted 18 hours ago, light it on fire. Like you said, they're not picking sauce.
Take every mock draft and light it on fire.
They're not picking Pickett. Oh boy, sorry Minnesota, you will still be stuck with Kirk Cousins.
So let's talk divisions of quarterbacks here.
Oh boy.
The AFC West is Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson. The NFC East is Dak Prescott, Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, and Jalen Hurts. There is one elite quarterback in the NFC, and that's Rodgers.
What? Are you sure? Are you sure? I'm trying to think of. Are you sure Trevor Simeon's not elite?
So, where is Trevor Simeon nowadays?
Saints still. Oh, did you know that he was one of only a handful of quarterbacks to have a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio last year?
I mean, dude, I got nothing. I got nothing.
If I had $1 for every time Frankie has tagged me in the last hour, I mean, please push LOL.
Man, we're gonna have we got a team meeting this afternoon.
Yeah. Oh boy. Are we gonna get anything done, or is it just gonna be talking about Russell Wilson?
This is amazing.
Yes, this is. Okay,
boy,
I posted earlier today.
Takes of this or something. This was an hour ago.
Oh my lord!
This was an hour ago.
Oh boy! Russell Wilson is not a Seahawk anymore.
Russell Wilson is a Denver Bronco.
Oh, look at this! This tweet aged really poorly.
Well, they still do have Mahomes, Herbert, and Carr in the.
Well, that's true. But can I offer you a Jordan Love?
The Broncos Super Bowl odds went from plus 1,800 this morning to plus 2,500 after the Aaron Rodgers news to now plus 1,200 now.
Guess who we play this year? As in we being the Ravens. Guess who we play this year?
The AFC West.
Well, no, just the Broncos.
Oh. What are Seahawks fans up to right now?
I'm surprised Dan isn't absolutely blowing up my messages right now. So hey, congratulations, Seahawks! You get a quarterback that had a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio last year. That includes Brady, Dak, Rodgers, Cousins, Wentz, Russ, Jameis, and Trevor Simeon. Yes.
All right.
Makes perfect sense.
How many of those picks are you using to trade up with the Giants for?
Well, okay. The Seahawks can't possibly think they're going to take a quarterback this year, right? No, I swear to every deity known to man, if you traded Russell Wilson just to get to 9, just to trade up for Malik Willis, I would jump off a bridge.
I never thought John Schneider was that smart. Dude drafted Jordan Brooks in the first round. He's not that smart.
And hey, there's that's good sports. Brandon Parna going nuts. All right, we love to see this. What a day! What a day in the NFL. I mean, the tags are flying left and right. I think the deadline just hit 3 minutes ago.
Oh, Mike Williams was also paid. Wow, yeah. Good for him.
So Mike Williams was tagged. Gesicki was tagged. Njoku was tagged. Why are there 15 tight ends that got tagged?
What are our views like? Because I'm not sitting in front of the camera that this is being.
We were peaking over 20, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah, let's eat for sure. Frankie. Hello.
Yo, what it do? What's up,
Let
guys?
me audio
What
avatar
up?
so we can see you exist.
No, I can't. I have no camera on.
Well, no, I know, but there's like audio avatar, like it's just gonna be like a screen, not a screen, but it's just gonna be like you exist. Oh my goodness, why can't I find something?
Well, all I want to say is this. This might be the biggest trade in NFL history.
There you go.
Just saying. When's the last time a quarterback
Whoa, pause. This is the real deal. Shelby Harris is going to the Seahawks. Shelby Harris is the best player in this trade. Not even gonna like pretend.
All right. We're reading this
seriously,
right now.
Flash,
This
this
is
is
not
the
been
biggest-
put out yet. Before
Flash,
2018.
what is it? Guys, what's a bigger trade than this in NFL history? What do we got?
I don't think
You mean
there
the
is
Herschel
one.
trade?
That's the only one, the Herschel Walker
Yeah,
trade.
yeah.
This
I
has
think
to be
the
the biggest
Herschel-
trade in NFL history.
Yeah.
All right, listen to this. 2018, people didn't know about this. The Seahawks offered the Browns to trade for Russell Wilson for the first overall pick. The Browns then declined and chose Baker Mayfield instead.
Hey, I mean Baker Mayfield will have a statue in Heisman Park in Norman, Oklahoma, so could be worse.
He never won a national. He's never been to a national championship.
But it's a Heisman Park.
Yeah. Well, wonder what Jamal Adams is thinking right now.
Oh, wait, I know. Okay, this trade, I have someone that likes this trade more than Denver Broncos fans. His name is Nick Spano. The Jamal Adams hater himself has gotten to retweet all of the Jamal Adams slander he's wanted today. Quote from Rich Cimini: Jamal Adams wanted out of New York in part because he didn't want to be a part of a rebuilding, losing situation. Mostly it was money. Well, now he's in another rebuilding situation.
Wait a second. The Broncos go to Seattle this year.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's
that's
right.
big.
Yeah, this is
that's crazy.
Oh, it's also we get Rams Chiefs again. That's gonna be
Wait,
fun.
what's the final guys? What are the final details of the trade? I'm driving.
They're not out yet. They're not out.
So what we have now is multiple picks, including at least 2 firsts, Drew Lock and Shelby Harris.
So you think it's what? You think it's going to be 2 firsts, Drew Lock and Shelby? It won't be. It probably won't be 3 firsts. Maybe a third.
And such. Trubisky to Seattle.
Oh wow,
that could be interesting.
I mean,
also,
I don't know what Seattle's. What's Seattle going to do at quarterback? They might like someone in the draft and try to get someone late, or get someone in the second or third round or whatnot.
I mean, I can give you the fun answer.
What is it?
Cue the music.
Who's going 1 overall?
Oh my
Someone
Lord.
just asked who's going 1 overall. I think.
Well, now the Jags tag Cam Robinson.
It has to be Thibodeau or Hutchinson.
No,
Thibodeau.
Cam
It's
Robinson
not going to be
doesn't have it.
Thibodeau.
Cam Robinson, what's up, guys? Cam Robinson's not going to be the reason why they don't take an offensive tackle. He's going to play right tackle. He's not their left tackle of the future.
Well,
do you even have to be your left tackle if you like?
Well, here's the deal.
Well, when Trevor Lawrence is getting
22.
driven into the ground and
That's fair.
and he can't, and your whole franchise is in his entire
Here's the
hands.
problem.
Yeah.
According to Mike Giardi of the NFL Network, he's saying Terron Armstead is very, very high on potentially going to the Jags, which would take him out of the tackle conversation.
Well, that would, but I don't think Armstead ends up there. I think he's destined for Miami.
Florida boy.
So,
He just
wow,
can't stay
that
healthy
was
for
wild.
15 games a year.
I got a bad feeling that John Schneider might have screwed this one up.
How so?
I think he got to the point. So from what I took, and that's why I was trying to get as much info as I could to bring here before I hopped in. So that's
Nick,
why I
how
was a
long
few
have you
minutes
known
late.
about this one?
I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know. Obviously, I didn't know it was going to get done, but I did know that Russ wanted Denver. There was a lot of rumors about him wanting New York, him wanting different spots, but strategically, he knew Denver was a really good landing spot. He gets to stay somewhat on the West Coast. Gets to play with some talented players and an offensive coaching staff, which he wanted. So, he's happy with, the Nathaniel Hackett move he was cool with. So it opens up a lot for Russ. Denver's a cool kind of young hip city, which, he'll vibe well into. So he wanted Denver, and Denver was obviously in on Rodgers, as we knew. So they kind of had a bunch of different balls in different courts. And once Rodgers kind of domino fell, this kind of led them to up the ante. I saw so far, at least it's going to be Shelby Harris, veteran D tackle, Drew Lock, possibly another player, and at least 3 picks, at least 2 first-round picks, possibly 3, and more mid-round picks. So that's the deal right now.
Nick, what's the rule with 4 first-round picks? You can't do it if they're
no, you can't. Yeah, it's got to be within a
within
a time window. Yeah, so
you would need to have 2 first-round picks one year, then a first.
If you're the Eagles, and you have 3 ones, you can give 5 ones. You can give your 3 this year, 1 next year, and the 1 year after that.
Yeah, but now after 3 years.
Yeah, right.
That McAfee said that the runner-up for Rodgers was potentially Pittsburgh.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, not surprising.
Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah, they're all over the
my
quarterback.
target in the draft. This is a gut feeling. I mean, I came out of Indianapolis with the thought.
We're talking Giants draft right now after Russell
I know,
Wilson just
hot
got
dog.
traded
I'll
to the
make it
Broncos.
I'll make it quick. I think one of the 2 picks will be Sauce Gardner, and I am confident of this.
Yeah, I think also what this does, and hold on 1 second. I'm just going to attack.
What I was going to say is this. This is an awesome move for the Broncos, no matter how you slice it. You're not going to find a quarterback like Russell Wilson. They've been looking for one for years now. This is going to really put them in contention.
Well, we got the haul. We got the haul. Hold on. We got the haul. Your final haul is 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. Whoa!
Wow, Noah Fant's going.
Literally, the text I just got. The text I just got was Fant's gone too. So wow. Okay, so that's who reported that.
If you guys are listening out there, download the U Stadium app. We got the quickest pushes and best insight in the game. Get on that fucking app right now. Make it a little fake and get these pushes. Nick's about to push it out. So let's go. You get that news popping in your phone.
So yeah, wow, yeah. So Seattle, they get the two 1s, 2 2s, which they gave up almost for Jamal Adams.
Wow.
Drew Lock, which is whatever. I'm sure they'll be in play for some quarterback. All right. Damn it, I shouldn't say it. Don't count out Deshaun Watson to Seattle. Maybe they move this haul that they get to Houston.
That's a good idea.
2017, folks. Remember that Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson duel up in Seattle. One of the greatest low-key games ever. Also, reconnects with Dwayne Brown.
All right,
don't count.
Broncos believe in Mizzou legend Albert Okwuegbunam. Learn how to pronounce his name right. NFL announcers taking over as their tight end 1. There we go.
Yeah, I just think they don't give a shit about Albert Okwuegbunam, whatever. They're getting Russell Wilson. So.
Okwuegbunam, my boy.
Seattle has a lot of veteran play. I don't know if you guys touched on it before, but a receiving core of Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, a good staple of running backs, solid veteran defensive players. So you're not trading Russell Wilson and kind of just going to plug Drew Lock in and go along with the same roster, right? It's either going to be you have an idea of another quarterback in mind or you're going to tear the whole thing down. So I think their next move will tell you what they think. And the fact that they're acquiring veteran players in a trade back leads you to believe that they have another quarterback in mind. Because you're not doing this with Drew Lock in mind.
I agree. Yeah. Well, they might be going through a rebuild, but
no, if you're going through a rebuild, what are you taking veterans for, and what are you going to keep high-paid veterans?
I mean, look, Noah Fant's a young tight end. You got your picks in. You got Lock in. They might go through a little bit of a rebuild. They don't have – Seattle's not an old team by any stretch of the imagination, are they? I mean, they have a bunch of young players on that roster.
They have really horrendous depth. Like, this is one of the rosters that after about 5 players, you are talking about backups on just about every other team in the league. Like, Lockett and Matthews are great. Penny is cool. Dwayne Brown is cool. Jamal Adams is cool. I know you guys hate him, but he's cool. Wagner is cool. Quandre Diggs is all right. They need to re-sign DJ Reed. And then after that,
They're screwed.
Like, they have whiffed on all of their draft picks the last few years.
They're in the best. They're one of the best divisions in football too. They're fucked.
Yes.
I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah, but
hey, remember,
this
they
might
did
be
win
the
division
time
in
to
2020.
rebuild because the Rams aren't going to be good forever. You might as well rebuild while the rest of the division is incredible. So when inevitably all the other teams decline, you have a chance to run the division 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. You need to make moves like that. I think Pete Carroll might be on the move. I mean, if I'm Pete Carroll right now, I may be wanting to go somewhere else. You know, I mean, you may want to go to a team. I mean,
How
the
much
Giants got their head coach, but you might want
Carroll?
to move to a team like that, huh?
How much would you trade for Pete Carroll if you are?
I think Pete Carroll's washed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a first and a few twos if you need someone. I don't think. I mean, he's not worth. I mean, what's he worth
I mean,
right
there's
now? I
no
don't know.
vacancies right now,
Hold
but
on.
if
This
you
is an
were,
interesting take. If the Seahawks tank this year and get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud next year, I think they win the trade.
I mean, are those guys going to be any good? That's I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say those guys, and I asked a few people too. Like, I know the 2022 draft isn't like super, quarterback heavy, and I said, is 23 going to be like this? Can't miss like 2021 was apparently. And they said, there's talent in CJ and Young, but I wouldn't say these guys are like. Can't miss. Yeah, like if it wouldn't shock them if one of those guys went out next year and stunk up the place and aren't even in the first round consideration pretty much. So I don't think this 2023 draft class is going to be anything that like teams are loading up for. You know what I mean? Like there's talent there, but I wouldn't say it's a.
I think they're off the top of my head. There's 2 elite players next year. You have Will Anderson and you have Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba's insane.
Those are your 2 elite QBs. Okay. Daniel Jeremiah just tweeted, odds are tipping towards Aiden Hutchinson being the first overall pick.
Yeah, he probably will be. He had a good combine, too, besides that one fall he had. He was really good. He has that good lean. He's aggressive. He has good tape. He plays hard every play. I don't know how great
I don't know.
He's not Nick Bosa, that's for sure. But, I mean, this draft at the top is weak. Let's just be honest. But it gets good when you go towards the mid-first, late-first. I think it's a lot of depth. That kid's going to go high, by the way. I was speaking with Nick. I don't know if you think so, Nick, but Jordan Davis is going to go high, man. He might go top 10. He might go top 5.
No, he's not going top 5. He's got a chance.
Nick, yes, because of Aaron Donald.
No, he's not even like Aaron Donald.
Close to Aaron Donald.
No, he's not going top 5.
It's about what it's the what if.
Okay,
Frankie.
I'm going to make you say
that Jordan Davis is like Aaron Donald would be like if I said Lamar Jackson is like Tom Brady. They are polar opposites. You cannot get more different than Aaron Donald and Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis brings I'm not going to say nothing, but next to nothing as a pass rusher right now. Aaron Donald is potentially the most dominant pass rusher in the history of the NFL, and he is not a freak as a 6'6".
I'm comparing
290.
Hold on. What did Aaron Donald run the 40 in?
Wicked fast, but they have totally different body types. Totally different body types.
No, but Jordan Davis is even bigger, and he's just as fast.
That is irrelevant on the football field.
No, it's totally relevant. When you get a coaching staff and you have a passing league, you can then think to I'm not saying it should be the top. It should be a top 10 pick.
So
I'm saying he will be a top 10 pick.
So I completely snuck in here.
Do you think one of Neil Ekwonu will be there at 5? Yes, I do.
That was a frigid take. Completely hot.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still
we have the tight
when
end.
Jordan Davis goes top 10, I'm gonna hit you guys up.
Okay.
Make a take on the app and give me your points,
I'll see you back later today. Until then.
Okay. Done.
All right.
Also, make sure you tune in to Chris's show tonight. They're going through tight ends. Mr. Alberto is probably going to move up a little bit, so I'm sure Chris and Stefan are frantically changing their notes right now. How's it going, Jack?
Oh my God! Like, what is going on this morning?
Hey, you still have to play Russell Wilson this year. So
We
I
do.
would
We do. We play the
yeah,
the
so do we.
AFC West. So this is oh God. Noah Fant is going to be on the Seahawks though, is what we're just hearing now.
Also Shelby Harris. So it's Locke, Harris, Fant, and 5 draft picks all going to Seattle for Russell Wilson. I think Seattle got a really nice haul out of this, assuming it's like the number 9 pick. That you can draft like an actual blue chip player because you screwed that up with getting Jamal Adams and absolutely sucking this year, which isn't necessarily Seattle's fault because Russell Wilson got hurt for the first time ever. So there's a lot of things that were going wrong here in Seattle. And I think if you played the 2021 season over again, they'd be better than 6-11.
Especially if Russ doesn't get hurt. I think that's the number one thing.
Welcome back,
Russ and
I think I got booted when Jack joined.
Russ in Denver is going to be a nice fit too, because I mean that air in Denver too is a little lighter. You can get the ball out there, it pops. You saw when Cutler was out there. You can sling it around in Denver. So Russ likes to throw that ball deep. That air bodes well for someone like Russ. So I really love that move for them.
Yeah,
really
of course.
Yeah.
Those teardrop, those deep teardrop passes he throws out, in Seattle. It's like you'll get some even more air underneath it in Denver.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's a great
what
move.
I
I mean, to get a Russell Wilson, a top, easily top 10, arguably top 5 guy, relatively young. It's not like he's 38 with 3 years left, like Rodgers would have been. And to give up 2 1s. I mean, look, you gave up a few veterans, which Locke, whatever. Harris is replaceable. Fant's decent. 2 1s and 2 2s, like realistically, for a franchise quarterback on a team that's been dying for one for a few years now. It's a great aggressive move,
years.
So, I always give teams credit when they're aggressive for anybody, let alone a quarterback that is easily top 10.
Nick, I have a question for you really quick. When a trade like this goes down, in your opinion, do you think that the Seahawks are going out there doing any more diligence to see if there's any teams out there that might be willing to go more than 2 1s and 2 2s? Or it's just something where you start having the conversation, it makes sense, and you pull the trigger? Because I have a feeling that there are some teams out there that they would have done 3 1s. They would have done 2. You ever wonder that? Like,
no, you're right.
Why wouldn't
that does come out
the
sometimes.
Dolphins might have done 3 1s. Yeah.
Yeah, a team like Washington, you're telling me that they wouldn't give, let's say they say Chase Young in 2 1s or Montez Sweat in 3 1s. A lot of it when you're talking about, it's a different story when you're talking a receiver or a Jamal Adams who just got traded for 2 1s, right? You're talking about a quarterback who controls the trade. So he tells you, I'm only going here, here, and here. Get your best offer from those teams. Don't bother taking Washington's phone call. I'm not going to play for Dan Snyder. Don't bother taking the Jets' phone call. I'm not going to play for Woody Johnson. Don't bother taking, other teams' calls. Yeah. So he decides where he wants to go in these situations. So and then it's up for Schneider to get to really to kind of create as big of a competition, or a package from the teams that are interested. So I'm sure they got what they felt is the best they can from a team that Russ would have okayed to trade. Because you're not going to go through all the work, come up with packages of trades, and Russ says, yeah, I'm not going there. And then you just wasted all your time and maybe ruined a relationship or piss somebody off that, along the way you want to do business with later.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Same thing with Rodgers. That's why you heard teams like the Steelers and Broncos in the hunt. They're not the only teams that called. I'm sure. Let's say Indianapolis was a team that I heard was secretly or quietly in on Rodgers. He would have gone there, but they didn't have the package that would have met the Packers. They didn't have the first round pick this year, so it was a non-starter for them. So there's always situations that you'll hear. Maybe even down the line, like Team X was offering more than what Denver offered for Russ. Maybe like you said, Miami.
Damn, who's this pretty boy on the line? I think you got the wrong stream, man.
What's going on?
You're not smiling because your face is frozen again, are you?
No, No,
Welcome
no,
in,
this
Henry.
time I'm in my car. I'm in the heat. We're all good.
Good.
So is this the best group of quarterbacks in a division? Obviously.
I mean, it's pretty hard to argue otherwise.
I mean, Derek Carr's the worst one, and he might be the number 10 quarterback in the NFL. Let's assume Deshaun Watson is not in. He might be number 10. At the very worst, he's like 12 or 14.
Who's next? Who would be
And
the
then
next
it's Carr,
quarterback?
it's
I'm
Herbert,
thinking
it's
next group of
Wilson
quarterbacks.
and Mahomes.
I mean, it might NFC, NFC West. Well,
Now, yeah, with Russ
I can't
gone.
really argue the NFC West anymore. With Russ
you have,
gone, it's kind of
you have
like
two top 10 quarterbacks, and then you have no idea what San Francisco is doing.
Right.
You have Drew Lock. So
Yeah, it's
that's
easily
all.
the AFC West.
I don't
like,
even know if
kinda
Drew
went
Lock's
through.
going to be the starter. They might start Geno Smith. I mean, who the hell knows?
That's fair.
I have a
NFC
hard
South
time
is a
thinking Drew Lock is
disaster.
going to start.
NFC North is two top 10-ish guys. NFC East is a disaster. AFC South is a disaster. AFC North has Lamar and Burrow. and that's
AFC
it.
East is all young.
Yeah.
AFC East might have a lot of potential though ahead of all
Yeah.
of them. Besides,
Yeah,
obviously,
Mac
the West,
Jones,
but-
QB1, baby.
Well, you
God.
got Josh Allen, then you got three young guys. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think you kind of know what Tua is. I don't think you really know what the other two are yet.
I didn't like that rumor, by the way, before this whole Calvin Ridley thing went down. I can't see Calvin Ridley fitting well with Mac Jones's playing style as a quarterback.
Really?
I don't know why.
Why?
Ridley's not really he's not really a yak guy. You know, did you see that clip that NFL memes posted about saying,
Him
look
running
at Calvin
backwards.
Ridley all into betting the under? Yeah, like he's not really like an aggressive running type of receiver, but he's amazing, you know, catching the ball deep and tracking those deep balls. So Mac Jones isn't really a deep ball quarterback. I don't know. I just felt like that mesh wouldn't have really worked all that well. But
So you don't like the Robbie Anderson potential there?
I don't understand why these teams, like how these GMs don't see that sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's proven wrong, obviously. So, like, what the hell do you know as a fan? But, like, Mac Jones throwing to Robbie Anderson just doesn't make sense in any stretch of the imagination. Just doesn't. I don't get it. But, like, the double tight end set's perfect for Mac Jones. That's why it works so well. Our guy Hunter Henry had an amazing year because Mac Jones is the guy that likes to throw underneath and get his tight ends across the middle. So
yeah, I don't think Belichick really knows much about wide receivers if they aren't small, white, and undrafted.
Hey, wasn't Edelman a 7th round pick?
Oh, right, yeah.
You know who's
Close
good,
enough.
man, is our boy Nick. Speaking of small white wide receiver, Braxton Berrios, man. If we're able to get him some plays, that kid can play football.
Yeah,
let me
he
tell
can.
you.
And
He really
they've talked and they've exchanged proposals. The Jets they feel like they would do like up to 6.5 average per year, and you know he's trying to get more. He's not going to get more in a market like this with this many receivers in the draft coming. So I ultimately think he'll return, especially unless it's just as risky for him to play the open market game as it is for the Jets, because if the Jets go out and they've checked into basically every available or potentially available receiver. Sorry, that was Luca.
Yeah.
He agreed. So if the Jets go out and they get a guy like Cooper or Robinson, let's say, then they're going to say, hey, we're checked out. We're not spending more on any receivers. And there goes Berrios' top offer. So both sides got to be careful.
Yeah. You don't know how the chemistry is going to be between Wilson and Berrios, where you're going to go more than 6.5. Although I want to say yes, definitely do it. You have to make sure that they mesh, that their games are conducive. To. I mean, Stafford and Cup, nobody knew what that was going to be. There's stuff like that just happens sometimes, lightning in a bottle. So
there's a talent limit on a Berrios. He's good.
Yeah.
He's nothing special. He's a nice player, and you like to keep him. Him and Wilson had a nice rapport at the end of the year, but it caps out at a point.
Yeah, I feel like the connections that Wilson had with Berrios last year is indicative of a receiver that he trusts. I think that's good to have for a young quarterback, even if he's not the greatest in terms of the skill set. I think that's worth paying him just because you want to help your second-year quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of receivers, and I see you just brought that up, Splash, the 3 years, $60 million. I saw, because you got to look more into detail on these contracts. I saw he's getting paid like $28 million year one or something. Is that true?
Oh my God!
Wow,
Like,
actually,
I like Mike
that a
Williams.
lot because then you would have more money for Herbert.
Well, yeah, they're trying to spend because I heard that they're going to be active defensively. They're targeting pretty much every available corner.
They're going for J.C. Jackson. They're going for what's
they're
his
in
name?
on Von Miller, so they're going to try and stack up on the defense while they're not paying.
No, not Gilmore. Who was it?
J.C. Jackson and Gilmore. They're in on.
Yeah, was it Gilmore? Yeah. Okay.
Should we do a live Seahawks mock draft?
Henry got some feedback over there, I think, in the car.
That's not good.
Yeah, can we pencil Deshaun Watson in there for pick number 9 and pick? The Seahawks only have 1-1 this year now, so they'll have 1-1.
What is up with this Watson news, man? I feel bad for this guy at this point. I mean, is he not? He might not even. I don't even know if he's going to be playing this year again.
It depends on what the legal.
There's
they're
no
still
buzz.
waiting.
There's no buzz around his name right now, right? I don't hear any rumors about teams even inquiring about him.
No, there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of teams
really?
on him. It's just the legal issues are still there. There's no new news on it. And I think in the next few weeks there's something that will at least kind of give you a better feel for what's going to go down. So nobody's going to trade for him, and then he turns around and he's facing any prison time and a lengthy suspension. So it's risky. I mean, anytime you're trading for a quarterback and giving up multiple ones, there's a risk, especially now adding in legal issues. So it's a tough situation. So they're trying on their side. Go ahead. What?
Do you think real quick, do you think him sitting out, Nick, this year helped his case as to not getting, let's say, 8-game suspension or a full year suspension? He already sort of
he's going to get suspended. He's going to get
but less than if he
games.
played last year. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If he played last year, maybe he'd get suspended longer because he kind of did a self-suspension.
Oh, no,
right?
The league doesn't. No, they don't factor that in. So
really?
No, because there's no. They won't hear the basically the evidence that the league will conduct. They won't hear it until this summer. So there wouldn't have been a suspension regardless up until this year. And the sitting out wasn't any legal issue. It was a team issue. He could have played, but it was a team and it was a him issue. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play for them, and they probably just felt it was better to stay away. So he'll get at least a 6-game suspension. He'll get it probably down to 4. That is if all this legal situation is taken care of and he's on a different team.
Okay, who do the Seahawks take at 9 right now? Off the board.
The guy I just mentioned before.
Stingley, Neal, Ekwonu, Gardner, Cross. Who goes at 9?
Gotta take the quarterback.
Yeah, Malik Willis if he's not gone.
Yeah, give him Malik. Similar skill set to Russ somewhat.
All right, there you go. Malik Willis. There's your trade.
The successor to Aaron Donald in that division. Jordan Davis, kid.
You're gonna have to wait a long time to figure that out.
I cannot wait to be right on that take. I'm gonna shove it in Splash's face when I'm right on that
take. What's your official take?
Jordan Davis will be a top 10 pick in this draft. I'm what do you mean? Oh God! What do you think all this coverage on the guy is? Every single player's talking about him. What do you think? He's not going to go top 10?
No.
Yeah.
People think he's going to be.
Frankie, you said it earlier. You're drunk. It's okay.
Okay. All right. When this actually, Sonny Carton, our man at U Stadium, texted me on the side and goes, "Frankie, I actually agree with you. He's going to be a top 10."
Good.
Pick.
I'm going to take
people
both of your
stop
points.
bullying me about this. All right. I'm going to be right on this. Okay?
It is true. We are bullying, and that's not nice.
But
I am going to go steal your points right now, Frank. Hold on.
I'm putting $2,000 on it.
I appreciate it.
$2,000 on it. Jeez.
2,000 points. Yes.
You know what's crazy? How is it that I know there's been news kind of sporadically throughout the day today because with the tag window closing at 4, and then a lot of teams kind of scurrying to get under the cap. But that shit, there were 3 huge stories in 5 minutes. It went Russ, boom, wow. Mike Williams contract, Cam Robinson tag. There was nothing that happened in the past 4 hours since the Godwin news, and then everything happens in 3 minutes.
Crazy. That's always how the NFL works, right?
Yeah, it feels that way.
At this point, I'm just waiting for OBJ to get re-signed.
Hey, don't hold your breath.
We have a Drew Lock.
The breath is held.
Quarterback competition up in Seattle. Hey, remember the last time there was a quarterback competition in Seattle? It became Russell Wilson.
Was born. Yeah. I think you'll have.
Maybe they'll often draft a guy. Maybe they'll draft my guy Cole Kelly in the 5th round.
I think there's going to be either a 1st-round quarterback or
trade
Deshaun Watson.
Nick, that kid Willis could drop to Seattle at 9 or no?
Yeah, I think so. That's like about the sweet spot. I always, when
That'd
I
be
was looking
cool.
at the draft.
He'd be able to come in, and he plays a little bit like Russ. Got
Yeah,
that pop in his arm.
you let Locke play, 2 weeks before he starts throwing up from how awful he is, and then you put Willis in.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Why is Peter Schrager tweeting an eyes emoji? What's going on now?
Oh dear.
Well, he's a West Coast guy.
I should probably drive home before more news breaks. I've just been sitting in my car. Like the second bell rang, I ran and hopped on here. So I'm going to do that before we get another big story. I'll be back when we do our next reaction show.
All right, drive safe, bro. Yeah, it always seems like now. Oh, I don't think Luca wants Henry to go. It always seems like there's a big trade before the combine now, before the free agency now. So it's like you get something before a little. Well, I wouldn't say little, but you get an appetizer before the main course in free agency, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never happened like this. Really, it's since like I know you had the Alex Smith trade to Washington a few years ago was the first time you had like a major trade happen before, the start of free agency. I guess teams are always worried about like something happening, like let's say any medical or a team backing out. But I guess now they just feel there's enough trust between, guys around the league that nobody's going to kind of mess anybody over.
Could Denver be the what do you think? Where do you think Denver's going to be in that division in terms of? I mean, the Chiefs will be the favorites. We think Denver could be a sleeper to.
I think they're going to be
second in that division.
Betting on it. Like I think they're ahead of the Broncos already. And then you look at them; they do play a fourth place schedule, which it happens that they play the Ravens this year because fourth place schedule. But you give them the Ravens.
That's crazy.
You give them they play the entire AFC. They play the entire AFC South, so that should be 3 wins at least. Then you play the juggernaut known as the Jets. And then they play the they play
they're going to be in good shape.
Some random fourth place team in the NFC. That would be the not Saints. They play
Third
the
place in the
Panthers,
NFC.
right? Yeah, or they play Panthers, right?
I want to say it was Dallas.
No. I mean, like fourth place in a division. They
fourth
they
in the
play
division.
your division as a whole. So that means they play Seattle and play LA and play Arizona and play.
Which team were we talking? I can look really fast.
And then Denver.
The Falcons, wasn't it? Wasn't the Falcons the last?
No,
division?
This can't be the last trade. Something else is going to happen.
So Denver plays a last place schedule, including the Carolina Panthers, barf, the Baltimore Ravens, whatever, the New York Jets, barf, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, barf. They also get to play the Texans, Colts, and Titans. They can win all of those games. And
I will say though, Splash, I know we're like, we're giving out free wins here like Halloween candy, but you have to realize the Broncos lost Vic Fangio, and he
that's fair.
Is a great, say what you want about him as a head coach. I think he stinks. I think he's the best defensive coordinator in football, though. And
that's fair.
That team, unless they need to add, they're going to lose. I know that 2 of their corners are free agents. Bradley Chubb just can't stay on the field. Where is like? I know everybody's saying, "Oh, they got this loaded defense with all this talent." Like, where is it?
Oh well, I'm okay.
Yeah, they lost a little bit over.
Then you lose to Fangio's scheme. That's gonna hurt, man.
Their linebackers used to be a lot better.
They're beating the Chiefs. I'm saying they're beating the juggernauts known as the Jets, Jags, Texans. Like, come on,
right?
Like they're beating up on the Carolina Panthers. Do you really think the Carolina Panthers are competitive with the Broncos? No. Like what?
Yeah, their division also isn't. Their division too. I mean, they can beat the Chargers and Raiders. Those aren't teams you're going into and you're like worried
the Chargers
about. The Chargers
wrinkle was that Vic Fangio had Herbert in a box. Herbert was horrendous against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Was he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
awful.
he was.
He had the game. He had a pick six, threw another interception. They lost. I think it ended up being 27-13. But they had a last second touchdown. It was 27-6 the entire game.
Yeah.
And
now you get rid of Fangio and Herbert's smiling.
I think, but you can still. Who'd they replace him with? Didn't they replace him with like a Fangio disciple? So you're still running pretty much.
Yeah, I think it was a Ram. Wasn't it your boy? One of the Rams coaches, I think. Or am I getting my teams mixed up?
Yeah, because if you're
Wasn't it the Rams linebacker coach, Jack? What the hell is his name?
Who were we from last year?
The Broncos' new DC.
Oh God, I don't remember his name. Hold on.
Broncos defensive
Oh, I know. Isn't it Evero? What's his name?
Ed Donatel.
Ejaro Evero.
No.
Yeah,
Ejiro
Evero, right?
however you pronounce
They
that. Yeah,
hired
Evero.
him, right?
Yeah.
So
Why did I got Broncos defensive coordinator and they gave me the Vikings one? That's weird. Okay,
I think
thanks,
he was
Google.
there, I think Donatel was with the Broncos.
Look, if you're getting like a Fangio disciple and you play that quarters heavy defense that Surtain's so good in, Justin Simmons is so good in, I think you'll still be good defensively. Your offense takes a big step up with Russ over Locke and Bridgewater. That's inarguable. Javonte Williams gets to be unleashed. You have good receivers.
Melvin Gordon.
You have a good tight end one. You have a solid enough tight end one with a Wegmanam. The offensive line has pieces on it. If you draft they probably don't have their number 2 pick, but there's some depth in this class at offensive line. So if you go, my phone's ringing in the background. That's great. Like Bowles is a good left tackle. Cushenberry is a good center. Glasgow is probably the odd man out, even though he's halfway decent. You have Quinn Miners, you have Natani Moody, some of those later round guys that have hit on. And if you figure out right tackle, I was watching a mock yesterday. And if you figure out right tackle, you're going to have one of the better offensive lines in the league. And I tend to agree with that. And the defense isn't the 2015 Broncos, but I don't think it's going to be bad by any stretch.
Yeah, no, they have some talent, and I'm sure, the staff will be fine. But losing Fangio hurts for sure. So
it does. It does.
But getting Russell Wilson changes everything. It changes.
Apparently, there's more.
No, that was just the Peter Schrager thing.
It's not a Watson move. Nothing is close with Watson. So I know there's going to be a lot of people. I just checked in while you were talking. I know a lot of people are going to assume we have Rodgers and Russ gone within 4 hours. Watson's next. Nothing's close there. And Seattle, the person I spoke to said he wouldn't think Seattle is going to be involved.
This is something I want to bring up, though. Russell, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. Russell Wilson, the things he did with Seattle, we're going to realize how important he was to that team now that he's in Denver. Seattle's going to be shit for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And you're going to see how good Denver's going to be with Russ there. He's a leader. He's going to be rejuvenated. That's another thing. When you go to a new team, you want to show off a little bit. You spend a few extra hours in the weight room. You spend some more time with your receivers. You watch a little bit more film. You want to prove people wrong. We've seen that trend now with Matt Stafford, with Brady going somewhere new. You see that happening with teams. It just gives you some new life. Doesn't mean the team was wrong to trade you, but sometimes you need some extra motivation. Watch how good Denver's going to be this upcoming year. Watch Cortland Sutton, what a year that kid's going to have. Watch Jerry Jeudy if he's able to stay healthy. Those running backs, they're going to be freaking good. They're going to be a very, very good team next year.
For sure.
Okay. Do they go above or below 500? Jack, you're first.
The Seahawks?
No, Broncos.
Broncos above.
Okay, Frankie, above or below 500?
Easily. They're going to win 11 games.
Nick, above or below 500?
Yeah, I like above. I like 9 or 10.
Okay.
10.
I'm with you. I think 10. 10's a nice figure. Do they make the playoffs? Jack, yes or no?
Yes.
Frankie, yes or no?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Nick, yes or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I say yes, but it's going to be a little bit tricky because that
Mr. 2-point conversion make the playoffs next year. John Harbaugh, Mr. 2-point conversion. That's what I
Yes.
want to
know.
Well, as long as Lamar's healthy.
Yeah. Chances are, yeah.
Can we
How many
talk
two-point
about
conversions?
Jamal Adams?
Had to go wrong the last 2 months of the season for the Ravens to miss the playoffs. Everything had to go wrong, essentially. You lose one of the top 5-ish corners in the league. You lose a top 10 quarterback. You get banged up just about everywhere besides wide receiver and tight end for the first time in franchise history. You lose on a 2-point conversion, not once, but twice. And, that was a terrible idea. Well, it's a 50-50 shot, essentially. So the odds of them losing both, 25%. I will happily take my chances that they'll win the next one, right? Especially when Lamar's on the field.
It all started with Dobbins and Peters within 10 minutes of each other.
It was
in the summer. Remember that?
It was Dobbins in the preseason game. Then I was in class. It was a Thursday, right before the season.
He remembers where he was.
Yeah, I was in my journalism like feature writing class. It was like a day to like talk about our
Your
next
feelings.
project. Well, yeah, talk about our next project, and it was going to be like a short class, like 15 minutes long. We were each going to like say our idea and leave. And I looked at my phone, and I get the Peters notification. I scroll up a little bit. I get the Dobbins notification, and I walk back to my dorm depressed. Like you're talking, two of my 5 favorite Ravens just tear their ACLs on back-to-back plays in the last practice before the regular season. Yeah, I wanted to jump off a bridge at that moment.
Is there a Jamal Adams curse?
I mean,
It's pretty hard to say.
hey, at
There's
least it's
not
better than your
right now.
OBJ curse. Remember that?
Yeah, but OBJ was just he's a front runner wherever he
Point
goes.
at the ring,
I don't want to
Jack.
talk about OBJ. He didn't even play in the game.
I think the
Yeah, he
Rams
had a
will win
touchdown.
The
He
Rams
scored
might
the
have
first
won the Super
touchdown.
Bowl without him too.
Yeah, no, I'll give him credit, but the Rams. We're not going to turn this into a Rams OBJ conversation. I'm trying to rip Jamal Adams here.
Yeah, I'm all for
earlier.
ripping Jamal Adams. I'm all for that.
Put it this
Well,
way.
listen, Jamal Adams isn't good in coverage. That's a passing division. I mean, let's just be honest.
It's less about.
He's obviously
less
giving
about
up a
his
lot of
game.
yards. He must be giving up a lot of yards out
Ooh,
there.
Aaron
I mean, I don't know
Rodgers
the
just
exact
tweeted.
numbers, but I'm
It's
sure,
more about
you know?
it's more about the fact that Schneider and co gave up 2 first-round picks, a third, and at the time a starting safety for another safety, which
I don't
literally
get
kicked
that.
that team
That's
into
We
kicked
have
that team
Pete
into
Carroll and
like
Matt
nothing.
Corral.
What?
We have Pete Carroll and Matt Corral together at the combine.
Yeah, something
was already established probably weeks ago.
The Seahawks just didn't on a whim say, okay, now's the time. There's a bigger decision coming up. So whether that is we're going to keep Lockett, Metcalf, Adams, Wagner, etc., bring back Dwayne Brown, and we have a rookie that we really like, or we have another trade that we really like, or they're completely tearing it down and they're going to be moving Lockett for a 3rd-round pick, moving Metcalf for a 1, moving Bobby Wagner for a mid-round pick. Trying to pray somebody take Jamal Adams off our hands.
Be signed by Baltimore without going against the compensatory formula.
Nick, you're gonna hate this idea, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. I really
if you say to bring back Jamal Adams, I'm off.
no, hell no. You think
Okay.
I'm not that drunk yet.
Give up 10 for Metcalf.
No, give up.
Actually,
Find a way as the New York Jets to bring in DK
Yeah,
with
that's fine.
Russell with Zach Wilson's
Yeah.
deep ball.
That's fine.
was something I was gonna bring up,
DK
too.
again. I'm telling you that would work out.
Yeah, I'm good with
beautifully.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm good. I am good with.
I'm not as crazy as I thought.
All right,
No,
I
you're
have a
not.
question for you, Jets
That-
fans. I have a question for you. What do you value more, 10 or the combination of 35 and 38?
That's a good question, and the answer is 35 and 38.
Okay, so if you
In this draft,
You're
in this-
right, Nick. I would
this
have
draft,
jumped and said 10, but you're actually right. It
Yeah,
is
in this
35,
draft, it's
38.
35 and 38.
Yeah.
you'd rather trade
Agreed.
10 and like I don't know a 5th or a 6th or whatever like random late round pick, and instead of the 2 2s. Okay,
Yeah, I would rather trade 10 for Metcalf and a mid-round pick. Like get
That would
another
be
pick back.
amazing.
Yeah.
You would trade 10 for Metcalf? Screw it.
I would.
Nick,
So
call someone at the Jets. Let's make it happen.
I've been in the camp
Seriously.
this year that the Jets' philosophy and mindset needs to change. I've been, dancing around the past few years. Well, there's no foundation to this team. You can't go and just add a veteran quarterback and try and play that game, or add a highly paid star player to the team and just pray it works. They were able to draft 9 players last year. You hit on 4. You don't know about Wilson. Obviously, that's the biggest question. You have to now transition into the fact that this team, we are going to try and compete. It's not about rebuilding anymore. The rebuild happened. We're starting the next phase of the rebuild, and that is we went all in on Wilson, so we're going to get him everything you possibly can to make sure he's the answer. So that means they should be on the phone with the Cowboys getting Amari Cooper, offering a pick. Don't let them cut him.
Listen,
Because he's not going to go to the Jets. You should try and get Metcalf. So
this is one of the first things that I thought about after this trade is that the Rams last season proved going all in works. The Broncos, it feels like now they're the next team that's going all in. They should be trying to get guys like Cooper. They should be trying.
Yeah.
They might. You know who they might get back is Von Miller. I think Von Miller. He was like posting the other day about how he wants to come back.
Denver?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was thinking. He was
Yeah,
thinking
that
like
makes a lot of sense.
he was
You're
like
obviously familiar with everything.
I'm
done.
not paying him though. I'm not like the word out there
he doesn't need
that
to be
I heard
paid.
is like, yeah, his market's going to be around like 16 to 18 per year.
I mean, Vaughn was one of the best players in the playoffs last year, and he was one of the best players on the Rams. And
He was, but the same thing with Beckham. He was a hired gun to fill one role, right? So you have Aaron Donald, you have Leonard Floyd, you have surrounding pieces. You say, here, Vaughn, this is what we need you to do. Pin your ears back. Go get the quarterback. We're going to play with the lead. We're going to score. Beckham, this is what we want you to do. We have Cup. You're a part of the offense. When you're talking about getting a guy from week one and you're
Beckham
paying
is different though because like Beckham wasn't even supposed to really be wide receiver 2 on the team. He only did because Woods got hurt.
And then Van forgot how to play football.
He did okay. Not in the Super Bowl, but he did okay overall.
I don't know how. We'll talk more about Tutu Atwell tomorrow.
Oh God.
Here's my favorite Russell Wilson stat. He is the first NFL quarterback ever to join a team that he once beat in a Super Bowl. Eat that, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady hasn't done that well. Jeez.
That's interesting.
This is so wild. This is just.
Yeah, I once I saw Rodgers go, and
Rodgers actually put out a tweet. He said that reports about him signing a contract are inaccurate.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so worried about that. Him and McAfee, like wrapped it and pulled that number out of midair. Like you're gonna hear that number. It's either gonna be directly on point or it's gonna be around it. So I'm not sure why they're so nervous about that. I mean, I don't know if it has something to do with this Adams, Devontae, the real Adams issue. Trying to just make sure it all works and fits. But I don't know. Rodgers is so weird, and so is Russ. Russ is so corny. Mm-hmm. It's like those two guys are strange.
Hey, they both have a Super Bowl ring.
I know.
It works. Sometimes it works. Actually, did you guys see? Was it Emmanuel Acho the other day on one of the shows he does?
Oh God.
It was about Lamar Jackson, but he made a point with Russell Wilson. It was like, is it race or ratio? And it was the dumbest segment. I think
God.
Our segments might be dumb. Jack and I, we might have dumb segments. At least we're not talking about race versus ratios. But
no, course, that's Russ ridiculous.
He's a mobile quarterback. That should count for like Lamar and Cam and the likes, Michael Vick. And he's like, oh no, the ratio of passing yards to rushing yards is too high. And I just wanted to punch my laptop when I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, almost every quarterback is mobile now, especially with Brady retiring, I guess, if you want to say. Go through every team. Who's not? Matt Ryan, and anybody over 35. Yeah, every quarterback now can move. It's part of the package.
It's like, okay, Allen can move, Tua can move, friggin' Zach
Wilson can Mac
Lamar. Baker tries to move.
He can move.
I don't know who Pittsburgh drafts. Burrow can move.
Can move enough.
Hill can move. Wentz can move. Lawrence can move. I really like when Jacksonville uses him as a designed runner in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Except he couldn't score one against the Jets to make sure the Jets had the number 3 pick.
Statue-y. Herbert can move. Mahomes can move. Carr can move. Russ can move. Dak can move. Jones can move. Hurts. Heineke has a little bit of that movement in him.
He can move. He loves to run.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be their starter week 1.
No.
Rodgers can. He
moves. He's the best out of the pocket. When he moves out of there, he's great.
Yeah, he's great around the pocket. And even with Brady, that it wasn't that he didn't move. It was just his moves were so calculated within the pocket that it's kind of like just buying time. Yeah. He's not like sprinting around doing Mahomes things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cousins is statue-y. Goff is statue-y. Fields is Fields. Ryan is a statue. Winston can move a little bit. Darnold, you guys know Darnold. I don't even want to imagine Blaine Gabbert starting an NFL game as a week 1 starter, but no.
And then look at the rookies coming in. Wills can move. Corral can move.
Howell ran for 1,000 yards last year. The only one that can't move is Carson Strong.
What's it, 80 to 85% of the quarterbacks in football can all move now. So
Yeah.
like I don't think
then
this
the
whole
ones that
running quarterback
aren't
thing
are
is
like
anything.
Matt Ryan and Cousins are like good enough processors that they can.
And Cousins outside of the pocket is
like
fine.
they can like do something. Like they can like get that extra step or two, and it's just that subtle movement that sometimes matters more than the 50-yard run.
There's definitely guys who would rather move, which could be a problem. Like Lamar in that conversation, would he rather move, or is he just such a great runner and that just brings a new element that like it's what he does best? Like then there's other guys who want to get out of the pocket
it's like
and play that hero ball. So it's a different conversation.
Like there's a difference to me between like Lamar now and like Malik Willis. Willis, when he gets out of the pocket, he looks to run. You can see Lamar at least multiple times a game. He gets out of the pocket and his eyes are focused downfield, right? Or it looks like he has room to run. My favorite clip is the when he threw the 83-yard touchdown to Marquise Brown week 1 against the Dolphins 2019. There's like a clip like Ronnie Stanley like waving like, hey, come run behind me. And Lamar, his eyes are just downfield the entire time. He just perfect ball to Marquise. So I think Lamar definitely has developed into that. He's looking to throw because that's the most dangerous throw is when a quarterback's out of the pocket, scramble drills after 3 or 4 seconds in coverage. All it takes is Marquise Brown getting a step on a random cornerback, and it's a touchdown, right? You look at the touchdown he had against Kansas City that Lamar like breaks contain. He's still in the pocket, but he like breaks what you think he's doing, and Marquise Brown gets half a step on the corner, wide open touchdown. So
it's today's game. Like that's just the way it is. It's spread offenses in college that are coming to the NFL. It's just it's the new track offenses. There's so many great tweets right now. Like Max Crosby tweeted a GIF.
I just saw the retweet.
A GIF of licking his lips or whatever. And Shelby Harris tweeted a sad face. And Albert Breer actually just tweeted what I mentioned on the show before. Russ never pushed for a trade and let it unfold himself, but Denver was always his first choice.
The thing I brought up that PFF tweet earlier where like they quoted that the Seahawks have like no intention to trade Russell Wilson was their quote, and that's kind of like basically saying they don't want to trade Russ, but if you give them an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, and I love how there's always fans that are like fans of teams that deep down know it's going to happen, they just don't want to, and then they're like, look, they said there's no intentions of trading, he's not going anywhere. It's so funny how that happens nowadays.
All right, let's wrap it up with this. What happens for Jordan Love?
Still shop him.
Okay, Jack.
I don't think they're going to get it too.
I mean, there's not really much of a sample size there at all. Jordan Love's barely played. So
that's a good point, Frank. Jordan Love to Seattle. I also like Jordan Love to the Giants. I think, with the new staff, you can give I think the Giants have 2 3s and 2 5s as well. You can give him up and have a real competition between him and Daniel Jones. And if it doesn't work, you can get rid of both of them next year. Not take anything, and you draft a quarterback. So take a flyer on Jordan Love. It serves, best case scenario is Love is good, and he's your guy. Worst case scenario, he's a backup for Daniel Jones.
I think you should. I just think I like him to Seattle though because if he is good and he plays for Seattle, then I don't think Metcalf and Lockett are completely screwed. Like Metcalf and Lockett, I feel like are getting the short end of the stick here. They
also DS
were just. Yeah, DS. It was just they're not gonna have fun next season if Geno Smith is the starter or
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock is the starter. It's
if they didn't get Lock, I would say that's like another good flyer, or get Love and then draft a rookie.
Yeah.
I don't. If I'm Seattle, I don't think they have enough depth of talent to warrant justify drafting a quarterback at 9. Like this is like Houston this year, right? They are so bad of a roster that it doesn't make sense for them to draft a quarterback unless there's like Trevor Lawrence available. So the Jags makes sense. You get Lawrence, but this year there's not a blue chip guy. Where would you have Love ranked in this class? Would he be your QB1?
I didn't like him coming out, so I would probably rather have Malik and Pickett and Corral and then Love.
Because I like Love more than these guys. I think these guys are. If I had to like give them a grade, they're like low first round. I think I had Love higher than Herbert, which obviously is a disaster in hindsight, but look at his Oregon film. It makes sense. He's very Sam Hallowell.
Yeah.
That is, his good year was 2 years before he got drafted. And all of his coaches and all of his like good players on the offense like leave. And then he has an awful year before the draft. So I think there's some potential there. And I don't think like a team would be like a Seattle or a New York would be a good spot for him to say, hey, you got a shot here, or even Atlanta maybe.
I would take a flyer on him as long as it's not a 2. If I'm giving up a 3,
Atlanta
a
has
lot of teams should take a look.
Well, they have the late 2 they got in the Julio trade. So maybe send them or you could send them 58 and get like Love and a pick back, or send them 73 for Love. I don't know.
That's not a bad. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's worth a shot. That's what I say.
Do a Falcons mock draft.
I'm hopping, dude. I got another call coming in.
All right.
Here, so if anything, I'll let you guys know.
And I think that'll wrap us up for today. Jack, thank you for joining. Henry, Zach, Frankie, and Nick, thank you.
I totally just kind of snuck in here, but the NFC West, it's wide open now. It's just wide. It's completely wide open. The Seahawks falling down the ladder now. It's like, oh boy.
Absolutely. All right. With that said, make sure you guys like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UStadium. You can follow me at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter. Make sure you ring a ding ding, that Le'Veon bell, that notification bell, so you know when we are live, whenever it calls. Anything else, Jack?
That's all I got. It's crazy. What a way to wake up.
Yeah. What a way to wake up. Absolutely. So with that said, make sure you tune in tonight for the Fantasy Football Show. They will be ranking tight ends, including Alberto. Maybe Noah Fant. I don't know. Maybe he beats out Gerald Everett. Tomorrow, Jack and I will be live at 6:30 Eastern. The Play Action Pod will be live at 5 o'clock. And with that,